on this floor now for some time, even since last Parliament, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what I've come to realize, there is a systematic program going on in this country to disconnect members of this House from the public completely. Mr. Speaker, I don't know where that plan is hatched, Mr. Speaker, whether it is in the executive or in the judiciary or somewhere. Mr. Speaker, there is a serious plan to disconnect members of Parliament, especially members of the National Assembly, from the public, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, people tell you that it is not your work to bring development to the people. If I cannot bring development to my people, what is the constitutional requirement of representation? You represent people so that you can speak on their behalf on the floor of the House to get resources to the public, Mr. Speaker, if I understand it well. Mr. Speaker, this is something that this House will not accept. Mr. Speaker, look at what's happening in the counties. We are not against devolution. We completely support devolution, Mr. Speaker. But Mr. Speaker, we have to analyze since the last 10 or 12 years whether devolution has worked for this country. The only things we see in devolution is conferences every year that shows us beans, ndengu, carrots, cucumber, cassavas grown in our areas, Mr. Speaker. Those things have been happening since independence. My grandmother has been growing cassava since Kenya became independent, Mr. Speaker. That's what you are being shown in devolution conferences. There is nothing serious that has happened in terms of devolution since devolution came into place, Mr. Speaker. Truth must be said. We must be truthful to the people, Mr. Speaker. Look at the amount of money that has been devolved in this country. Trillions of shillings since devolution came into place. Nothing to show for it. Nothing, completely nothing, Mr. Speaker. Let's be honest to Kenyans. Mr. Speaker, we don't want to describe them as devolved corruption, but people are preoccupied. Mr. Speaker, can we have order here? People are preoccupied with the little money that has been devolved through NGCDF, little money that has been devolved to the constituencies through RMLF, and people don't take note of the billions of shillings that are being devolved every financial year, Mr. Speaker. Counties are getting their money. They are never in arrears. Even if they're in arrears, there's 1 month, 2 months, in the end the money goes down to the ground. There are counties that are holding billions of shillings in their central bank accounts. I was reading in the newspaper the other day that there are counties that have not spent 48 billion shillings, Mr. Speaker. They are lying idle in their account. And they are still demanding for more money. They're saying, oh, the national government has not devolved. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, these people who are calling themselves here Nairobi, Kera and Kura, these people must know that these are organs of national government. They are not part of county government. They are oversighted by this House. This Director General of Kera, Mr. Speaker, this man is a joker. I can tell you for true. He thinks that he is supposed to report to counties. Which governor oversights him? Which county government oversights him? That man must be dragged here to this House under full committee of the full House, Mr. Speaker. And he must be told in no certain terms that he is supposed to report to the National Assembly, Mr. Speaker. This is a man who thinks that he is supposed to work with county government. Which county government is giving him money? Mr. Speaker, you can go around to every constituency today, and we'll take you around as a speaker. The roads that are maintained by constituency development, by this RMF through the constituency, are known. In every constituency, there are not even more than 4 or 5. Majority of the roads are classified as county roads, and they're in pathetic condition, all of them. And they're asking for the RLMF for the constituency. The ones for the constituency are well maintained. Actually, the national government is trying its best to even tarmac majority of the county roads. Mr. Speaker, we cannot take this thing anymore lying down. We will put our foot down. We are tired of these shenanigans of counties and judiciary all the time saying CDF is unconstitutional, and these people are enjoying their monies. They are not delivering any services to the public, and the people who are supposed to do that work are being curtailed, Mr. Speaker. This matter must come to an end, and we are going to pass, as the majority leader said, the county revenue allocation, the extra money we are giving them through the bill that has been brought here, without RLMF. If they don't want money, the bill will get stuck here for good. You can continue with the one that you have been given at the beginning of the year. And I want to tell the Council of Governors, please don't joke with members of parliament. They have been elected just like the way you have been elected. Your votes, we got votes the same way you got votes. Some of you, we just go through waves. You know, there are people who are saying, when the new constitution was being formulated, governors should have been appointed job. There are people who are saying that. We can amend the constitution, if need be. So, Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, we are saying, let us respect everyone's work as enshrined in the constitution and the laws, Mr. Speaker, and we must make sure that we are not supposed to be made like we are not supposed to bring any development to our constituency. A governor told me, Mr. Speaker, he told me on my face that, you know, your work is representation and oversight. You are just to go and make noise in parliament. That is all. That's your work. You don't have any other work. I told him, my friend, you should have slept. My friend, when we are going to do the division of revenue bill, we will give you very little money if you talk like that. That's when you'll realize what power is as the constitution given to the National Assembly. So, Mr. Speaker, we support the devolution, but the county, what is this thing called? The Council of Governors. These are more first thing first. It's not in the constitution. I don't know, it's in the County Government Act or something, Mr. Speaker, which we can repeal even that one. They must respect members of parliament henceforth. And that is not anything we are begging for. Mr. Speaker, it's an order, and we will stand firm to make sure that our constituency gets development as required by law. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
That is one of the members who joined the broad-based government, and his name is Junet Mohammed. Junet is one of the leaders who was opposing the government that it was in 2022 during the general elections campaigns. He was one with that sound Imeenda, and he used to really condemn the Kenya Kwanza government. But after the broad-based government was formed, that is when John Pio and I, that is when Wycliffe Oparanya, the likes of Hassan Joe joined the government, and that is when we now started seeing Junet Mohammed in a totally different picture, because he was really condemning, saying that he cannot agree to work with the Kenya Kwanza government. But now he's in the government. We have seen so far what has been happening since we formed the broad-based government, which it was formed when the Gen Z went to the roads to complain about the finance bill, to complain about this kind of abductions, and that is when we heard those cabinets being reshuffled. We heard now a new cabinet secretary for Ministry of Education, Treasury, Mining. That is when we had the broad-based government being formed, and now after the broad-based government now being formed, we are having a lot of issues being raised. We have a lot of Kenyans complaining still that broad-based government has not given us that energy. They have not activated what Kenyans want, and that is why they are saying that maybe the broad-based government was formed to surpass and also to make Kenyans suffer. That is what they're saying, because of selfishness. That is what they're saying, because of Kenyans not being represented over there. That is when they will only do as their needs. Of course, they remember Raila Odinga. Yesterday, we saw him in the State House, whereby Kenyans also raised a lot of concerns. Like Baba sasa yuko katika serikali. What about the Kenyans who have been following Raila Odinga? What about the loyal followers who are like water and fuel when it comes to the Kenya Kwanza government? Remember, to always join us through this comment section of Rick 24 political discussion, and we are cruising nicely here as we discuss some of the top lines, and of course some of the headlines that we had in our country, Kenya. But now we are trying to discuss the impact of broad-based government, the impact of broad-based government to the country. Yeah, because we're having a lot of issues being raised. The government has already absorbed Raila Odinga completely, but the official opposition leader Rigiji has been speaking. Rigiji has been making headlines, making sure that the president will always deliver. That is what we are hearing. But the president is saying that he has the best methodology to change this country. The official opposition leader, Kalonzo Musyoka, also has been making headlines to make sure that he changed the position of this country. What is the future of Kenya when it comes to this broad-based government? Because Sifuna was in that government and he is one of the loyal followers of Raila, but the body posture really communicates.
Rafiki yangu mam, Mheshimiwa Betty Montet, Your Excellency the Prime Minister. My name is Edwin Sifuna. I'm the Senator of Nairobi, your neighbors here. Na pia mimi ni katibu mkuu wa chama cha ODM, chama ambacho kilimteua Senator Montet na naibu wa kiranja wa walio wachache ndani ya bunge la Senate. Nasimama hapa kwa niaba ya walio wachache wote. On Tuesday, Your Excellency, we went to condole with our sister at her house in Nyari. And those who were present then know that I had excused myself. Nilikuwa nimewaambia kuwa sitakuwa katika hii hafla. Nilikuwa nimeitwa pamoja na viongozi wengine wa vyama tofauti tofauti katika bara letu la Afrika na kiongozi wa chama cha UNITA ambacho ndio chama kikuu cha upinzani kule Angola kwa ajili ya mkutano kule Luanda. Lakini Your Excellency, tulipofika pale kwenye airport, sisi sote wakiwemo marafiki zetu wa Tanzania, Uganda, viongozi mbalimbali, tulifurushwa kutoka mji wa Luanda. Na ndio maana niko hapa Mheshimiwa Montet. Kuna wengine walikuwa wananikejeli, wanasema nilikuwa nimesema naenda Luanda, kumbe ni hii ya Vihiga ya kina Usuzi. So ya Mungu ni mengi imenipelekea kwamba niweze kujumuika na nyinyi hapa. Mimi nimemjua Senator Betty Montet, mumesikia hadithi ambayo imeelezwa hapa na Chairman SK Macharia. Tumekutana wakati mimi ni katibu mkuu wa chama na yeye ako katika timu ya kampeni ya Mheshimiwa SK. Tumefanya mambo mengi pamoja. Na kutokea wakati huo Senator Montet yeye uniita my son na mimi namuita mama. Na wakati ule alikuwa pale na SK karibu. Kuna wakati ambapo shirika la Citizen wakati wa kampeni ya 2022 walianzisha hizi advertisement za politicians kwa Citizen. Na ndio ujue urafiki ni muhimu. Mimi naweza pewa kitu bure yenye wewe utauziwa. Mimi ndio nilikuwa wa kwanza pamoja na Mheshimiwa Pasaris tukafanya hiyo matangazo na hatukulipa hata shilingi moja. Tulifanya sare. Na ndio kwa maana ukaona kampeni yangu ya 2022 ikakuwa rahisi kushinda pale nyuma. Labda ningekujua 2017 ningekuwa nafanya my second term pale Senate. Nataka niseme asante sana for your support. Asante sana for your friendship on behalf of the entire ODM party. Our national secretariat and my boss is here. We want to say pole sana for the loss of Mzee, and you know you had opened your doors for us here. Tulikuja tukapiga sherehe wakati Wangeshi ilikuwa ni ilikuwa junior wakati alikuwa anapata mke. Na hiyo sherehe ya mess tuliona, hata sisi tunajikazanga tunafika 6 kama hao kama hao marafiki zako ambao wamekuja hapa. So mimi nataka niseme tu pole na nikuhakikishie kwamba tutasimama na wewe pamoja na chama kizima cha ODM. Kuna chairman wa clan yenu hapa ambaye ameni-challenge hapo kama SG wa ODM. Mimi unajua juzi tukifanya hiyo shughuli ya kusign documents pale, nilikuwa najua tukitoka pale kuna watu wataenda kusema kitu ambayo haiko ndani ya hiyo mkataba. Wataenda kusema ni hii na sio hiyo. Wengine ni hawa marafiki zetu waandishi wa habari. Mimi naamka siku moja naona headline hapo ati Sifuna ametoloka rais kwa mikutano yake Nairobi. Hakuna mahali kwa hiyo mkataba inasema katibu mkuu wa chama cha ODM atakuwa anaenda mikutano na rais. Hakuna mahali inasema huyu senator ambaye amechaguliwa na UDA ati baba akiwa na mikutano yake hapa ati lazima akue hapo. Niliona Mheshimiwa Raila ulikuwa Kiambu kwa mazishi ya Wayaki. Sikuona SG wa UDA hapo. Kwa sababu huo mkataba hauzungumzii haya maneno. Na rais mwenyewe anajua. Nilisikia akiambia watu wa Nairobi kila mtu afanye kazi yake. Mimi sitapitishwa kura kwa sababu ya mikutano ngapi nilihudhuria tukiwa na rais. Kazi yangu ni pale Senate nitafanya, yeye afanye yake. 2027 wananchi wafanye nini? Waamue. Na baba mimi baada ya kusaini hiyo kitu unajua kazi yangu ni rahisi sana. Mimi nakaa na marking scheme tu. Nakaa na marking scheme. Si kuna agenda 10 pale. Iwapo Mkenya mwingine yoyote atachukuliwa na polisi ati abducted afichiwe mahali, chama cha UDA na kiongozi wake William Ruto watakuwa wamekeuka mkataba ambao tumeandikisha. Iwapo polisi wa Kenya hawatawajibika watoe fidia kwa familia za watu ambao walipoteza maisha yao kulingana na jinsi ambavyo huo mkataba unasema, Mheshimiwa William Ruto na chama chake cha UDA watakuwa wamekiuka mkataba wetu. Iwapo kufikia mwaka huu wa fedha kaunti zetu hazitapokea bilioni 450 kulingana na vile tumesikizana, UDA na party leader wao watakuwa wamekiuka mkataba na chama cha ODM. Hiyo ndo kazi yangu tu. Hakuna kazi nyingine. Tunataka wafuate vile tumesikizana. Kwa hayo mengi, nataka nichukue fursa hii nimkaribishe kiongozi wa walio wengi ndani ya bunge la Senate ambaye pia ni seneta wa Kericho, Mheshimiwa Aaron Cheruiyot, naye atoe rambirambi zake kisha mkaribishe speaker. Asante sana, Mungu awabariki.
Asante Senator Sifuna. To our dear mom Betty, together with your family.
Well, that was Dennis Sifuna, and he was trying to say how this MOU was signed and the impact of this broad-based government. So he has highlighted some of the key things that we are discussing in that memorandum of understanding. And number one is we stop this kind of abductions that happen in the country. Also, we stop the issues of delaying money when it comes to the county government disbursement, and also when it comes to the governance of the country. That is how Sifuna is stating those agreements. Now, as a Kenyan, now as a Kenyan, we are also trying to understand the kind of things that are happening. Also trying to focus on how will this country be deliberated from these things which are pressing the Kenyan, like high cost of living, underdevelopment in some parts, also issues of poverty. It is the work of the government to distribute resources, to exploit resources in the right way so that the mwananchi will benefit. Because tell me why we have the general election. Tell me why we are selecting leaders. Tell me why we are having president, deputy, members of county assemblies. It's for the importance of the common mwananchi, and that is why we have those positions. So if you are elected and you cannot represent the country, your area, your region, then it means that you are in the wrong position. And it means that you are doing the bad thing. Then it means that you and your person, you are misleading others. So we're having a lot of issues. We're having a lot of counties. We saw today, Machakos County, now they are plotting to impeach Governor Wavinya Ndeti. They think that a lot of nepotism, a lot of tribalism, a lot of cases of corruption are being reported in Machakos. Now that's why they have the plan to impeach him. That is one area. Because if you're having a lot of corruptions, we are having an equal distribution of resources. This includes also labor. Labor is also included when it comes to these resources. If you don't have labor, then we're having issues.
But you have also heard that via a cabinet memo in 2000, 4th of May, 2005, that was the Kibaki era.
Yes.
This land was given to the retirees. Why? Because one of our state corporations, Kenya Railways, had mismanaged itself to the extent of not being able to pay their pensions.
That's right.
So they paid them in kind via this land. So this land, although the title didn't change, the beneficial owners are the retirees. It's not available to the government of Kenya or to any land grabber to lay hands on because it has owners who are the retirees. This land has already been sold. Following the steps that should be taken in any legal sale, they have been paid 320 million out of the 400. Only 80 million is pending. And I believe it was sold to a Kenyan. They will be able to say that. Now, I want you to know, the last statement my brother made was that a person higher up in government. The indications and the information coming to the retirees, it is that it is William Ruto or members of his family. Either him or his children, to be precise. And there is a pattern. Any land where he is mentioned as the one grabbing, ever since he took the seat of the presidency in this country, the characteristics are sending GSU, not just regular police, GSU. So he grabs using state machinery. In Dabibi, where I visited, the owners, old people and their families who acquired this land in the 60s and took possession in 74, it is GSU. It is the local police who have kept them away from their land. Now, this land belonging to railway, away, GSU. Once you see police involvement, the onus shifts to William Ruto. And if he says he is not the one, he must tell us who it is. He's the chairman of the Security Council, which comprises, among others, the police and the NIS. They must know who is this trying to take food from the mouth of pensioners. Who is this trying to use state machinery to grab the land? I'm therefore once again asking Dr. William Ruto directly, come clean. Come clean. In Dabibi, after your name was mentioned, titles were manufactured in the name of a third party. So now there is a third party, the man behind MKU, who is now the face of the grabbing at Dabibi. But GSU are still there. So you know it is still William Ruto, because Jane Kehara, MP of Naivasha, had let the cat out of the bag. Yeah. She had publicly said it is owned by William Ruto. We are now telling him GSU has appeared in land owned by retirees. The information is that it's you or members of your family, in particular your children. Come clean and tell us why GSU are there. Tell us if it is not you, then who is it? Grabbing has escalated during this rogue KK regime. Unfortunately, Ruto himself has been associated with so much grabbing in this country. And I can give you one as a testimony. This procession way, he had grabbed it during the Moi era. He returned it after the Dongo report. He had already taken a loan of 100 million. He had to pay the loan back. I don't know how he would be accessing State House without procession way, which he had grabbed. We all remember the story of Weston, which went to court, and he was told to pay, to return the land or pay market price. He has never shown us receipts that he paid the Kenya Airports Authority. Can you tell us whether you are using state machinery to grab, to satiate your appetite for land? If you are not the one, then tell us who. That is the long and short. But we will not sit as Kenyans, maovu ya kitawala. We will stand with these retirees until they get back their land. In the name of the sovereignty of the Kenyan citizen, we hereby direct you. If it is you, return the land. Stop interfering with the pensioners' land. If it is not you, we direct you to get whoever it is to return this land. In the name of our sovereignty as the people of Kenya. We need to unite to liberate ourselves from land grabbing. We need to unite to liberate ourselves from oppression. I want to thank the retirees for coming forward to consult my brother, and my brother for asking me to come and lend my voice in this. And I want to beg, I will have to rush somewhere else. So when I sleep out, do not take it as negative. I had also forewarned them, but we will stand to...
People's Liberation Party leader, Martha Karua, there, of course, she has been one of the solid and brave leaders when it comes to opposing this government. She has been making sure that whatever the president is saying, then he has to do. And since 2022, she has never agreed with the current government. She has also been telling people to always stop believing in William Ruto. Karua has never, and that is why we saw her making that move. She said that enough is enough. From coalition government, we are now saying enough is enough. She left, she walked out of coalition government. Coalition government, you remember in 2022, she was the running mate of Raila Odinga as a woman, and Raila Odinga now believed that he will clinch 2022. Although they're saying that the move that the president took was that is the president, the former prime minister took was not the right one, because Karua, he gave only few votes from Mount Kenya region. That is the plan which Raila had when he was choosing Martha Karua for that position. Now we are having issues being raised that Mount 10 will never be featured in the development. Recently we saw what happened. We saw Ndindi Nyoro being dropped from the budgetary committee, and also we have been seeing how things are now landing. It's a tit for tat.
Mi kumuita immediate former. Manake huyu bwana hakukosea mtu kutolewa mwenyekiti wa budget. Lakini kwa hekima ama kwa kukosa hekima ya watu fulani wakaamua kumtoa kuwa mwenyekiti. Na sababu moja ni rahisi tu, nyota yake inang'aa. Nyota yake inang'aa. Na ngapi wanakubaliana na mimi nyota ya Ndindi Nyoro inang'aa? Niseme nisiseme? Kabla tuingie kwa mada, agenda ile tuleta leo, sana masuala ya elimu. Lakini we must call some things, kama ni mbaya ni mbaya, kama ni nzuri ni nzuri. Kitu mbaya in this country, hawa watu wataita TAVETA ambao wameketi hapa. Hawa watu wa Bundani, hawa watu wa Beruga, hawamjui kiongozi mwingine bungeni kuliko Ndindi Nyoro. Kweli si kweli? Na hamumjui kwa matusi, manake hatukani mtu. Hamjui kwa sababu yeye ndio upiga kelele zaidi bunge. Ni kwa sababu akiongea, ukiangalia na matendo yake yanaambatana. Unajua kule bunge kuna watu wanaongea na matendo hakuna. Na wengine yani unaona ni wivu tu. Wanaongea matendo ni zero. Lakini rafiki yangu huyu Ndindi Nyoro matendo iko, na kuongea anajua, na kusoma amesoma, na nia nzuri ya Kenya ako nayo. Mheshimiwa Ndindi Nyoro, watu wasikutishe, wasikufanyie, tuko hapa. We are here. Tuambie kwamba waache mchezo, waache kuchezea huyu kijana. Because kesho hawajui Mungu anapanga mambo gani. Sasa Mheshimiwa Ndindi Nyoro, karibu. Watu wangu wataita Undanyi wanakujua. Ulikuja kwa function yangu pale Undanyi stage. Tukakuwa na hafla nzuri mwaka jana. Tena mwaka huu nilipokuomba uje uongoze hii shughuli leo ya kudhamini watoto wetu, ukasema utakuja. Nitoe shukurani sana kwa viongozi ambao wameketi pande hii. Na washukuru sana. Hapa tuko na wachungaji, our pastors. Wamekuja kwa wingi. Wamekuja kwa sababu wanapenda maendeleo. Na wanafanya ile kizungu inaitwa holistic religion. Yaani wanatukuza kiroho, lakini pia wanatuhimiza tusome na maendeleo yafanyike. Asanteni sana wachungaji. Walimu wangu wakuu ambao pia kama kuna assisting guest, yaani mdogo wa Ndindi Nyoro leo ni ma principals wa secondary schools. I want truly to appreciate you guys. Anajua mlisimamishwa lakini niombe msimame tena. Principals wa secondary schools. Na tuwapigie makofi. Let's appreciate them. Hawa mabingwa hawa tumekaa vikao vingi sana tukipanga maneno ya watoto wetu. Na leo wamekuja wote kwa wingi tu wakiongozwa na chair wao ama chairperson wa walimu wakuu hapa katika constituency yetu ya Bundani. Na kwa heshima tu, kwa sababu ni watu wazito, nataka kumpa Madam Mwashi uongee kwa niaba ya walimu kidogo tu, alafu mambo mengi ambayo yametuleta hapa yana
That is an event that happened today in Taita Taveta County. Didi Nyoro was present after what we saw the other day, that is 2 weeks ago. He was dropped from that budgetary committee by the members of parliament. Allegations that he has been channeling all the money to Kiaru constituency, which is his only constituency. Of course, he's the member of parliament from Kiaru. And that is what the members of parliament, they say that due to selfishness, that is why now we are having Didi Nyoro being dropped. And at the end of the day, he was dropped from that position. Now we are having Atandi as the committee chairman for the budget in the national parliament, whereby some of the leaders, they expressed their confidence when it comes to Atandi, and they believe that he is the perfect man for that position. And also Sabina Chege, the likes of close members, saying that maybe this is a political move. Of course, Didi Nyoro spoke with the media the other day, saying that politics is just a mind game, and you have to always do your things exclusively. And this is why he is also calling any member of parliament who want to join a Kiaru constituency for the benchmarking. Because at Kiaru, then you will find a lot of importance, you will find a lot of things over there. And he has constructed a lot of the facilities on also ensuring that people of Kiaru, they are living their life comfortably. No issues of Kenya Power shortages, no issue of schools fees, no issues of bursaries. Everyone is getting resources equally, because we are having a lot of people in this county. As you have heard what happened in Machakos, they're saying that we have a lot of nepotism cases, also tribalism cases, corruption cases in the county. But now, when you know what you want as a leader, then you have to support the people. You have to serve the people in the right way when you know what you want. And that is why we are having a lot of members of parliament, a lot of governors being complained that a lot has been going, that they are not doing their work. They need to be pushed. They are squandering public resources.
Mr. Speaker, for the chairs to take the committee work very seriously. A lot of work is done at the committee. And sometimes, Mr. Speaker, what comes here on the floor, sometimes members vote even without understanding the concept or the content. So it's upon the chairs and vice chairs to make sure that when a subject comes in, and especially I want just to quote what my colleague was saying about the finance bill. I think last time there was a lot of politics that played in between. And Mr. Speaker, out of this house, then Kenyans really took offense with the finance bill. So I hope, Mr. Speaker, as now we have come to the second half of the term of our tenure, that will be objective, Mr. Speaker, that we are going to make sure that we communicate well to the public. This is a position that also comes with a lot of responsibility. We saw our colleagues, and I just want to say, sorry to the chair of finance, whose even house had to be banned for a responsibility that he took as being a chair of the finance committee. So sometimes you'll have to take huge responsibilities. And I also want to urge them, when the government officials comes in, whether it's PSs or CSs, let us not be cause with them. Let us push them, because our role is oversight. Once we allocate finances to them, let us also make sure that we follow up on how they are using these finances. We have some PSs who allocate finances as they wish. Mr. Speaker, it is good that we play our oversight role very well so that we make sure this government is about broad-based. At the committee level, that's where we are able to allocate the finances to the projects that Mwananchi, the person on the ground, will feel that the government is concerned. And that is maybe what Honorable was saying about serving Kenyans. We are all serving Kenyans. Congratulations to the new team. Put your best foot forward because we are on half term now. We need to redeem. And Mr. Speaker, just as I finish, let us also not cast aspersions or accuse our own colleagues, because what happens to your colleague today, it can happen to you tomorrow. We know chairs are their positions. I have been a chair, Mr. Speaker, and I've said that. A lot of these colleagues will approach you and come and tell you, help us on this, or call so and so on my behalf. So when the chairs offer themselves, and I am very sure, and unfortunately allow me, because I come from Murang'a County, to speak about Honorable Ndindi Nyoro, who was the chair of Budget Committee. He assisted very many members here. But when his time came, the same members, Mr. Speaker, were there casting aspersions and trying to show like Ndindi was favoring himself. Please let's remember the small deeds that our colleagues help us to do at their role, because they are that privileged position. And let us not accuse each other, because you never know. I want to personally congratulate Honorable Nikal. I served with him at the Health Committee. He has gone through all the ranks in the health ministry. And I'm very sure, Honorable Nikal, even as I move my bill, my motion, that you'll be of good help to give insights that we have very, very, very good public hospitals. You know, at our tenure in the Health Committee, we have a fantastic facility called Kenyatta University Referral